If you're excited for PoE 2 but feel like you're staring into the matrix when you see the passive skill tree or the gem system, don't worry, you're not alone. In this video, I'll make it simple, help you pick a class, and get you ready to enjoy the game your way. The focus of this video is for new players to get a basic understanding of PoE 2. I'm going to break this down into 5 main sections and provide a foundation for you to stand on when you start PoE 2. The main story, which we will call early game, currently it provides 3 acts that you can play through twice. First, you will play through the first 3 acts in normal mode. After defeating the first 3 acts, you will then be presented with replaying them again, but this time in cruel mode, which increases the level of difficulty. To give you an example of what the early game will be like, this is the Act 1 map. I will not be showing any of the other maps or explaining any of the icons so that you can discover these secrets yourself. There is a legend in the game, so you can look at these once you start the game. The important thing here is that you get an idea of the gameplay you will be presented with once you begin. You will go from area to area, defeating different monsters and bosses until you reach the final boss. Once you defeat the boss from the act, you will then move to the next act. Once you finish the main campaign, the real game begins. And no, I'm not joking. This is where Path of Exile 2 truly shines. Think of the endgame as a massive universe full of maps, bosses, loot, and increasingly difficult challenges that you can customize based on how strong you feel and how daring you are. But as I said, the main purpose of this video is for the beginners. The developers are introducing new changes to the maps as well. So I will make a separate video focusing on the late game once we have all the information. So you decided to take the plunge into Path of Exile 2. Your journey begins here. Now that your journey is about to begin, we have to make the choice between the standard and hardcore mode. Since this is a beginner friendly video, we will stick with standard. This is your character creation screen. I will go over all of the characters and their ascendancies that will be available as of April 4, 2025 during the new Dawn of the Hunt update. First, the Mercenary. The Mercenary introduces shooter style gameplay, wielding crossbows that can function like assault rifles, shotguns, or sniper rifles. Their class employs various elemental effects, utilizing incendiary ammo, freezing bolts, and grenades to control the battlefield from a distance. The Mercenary is ideal for players who favor strategic and ranged combat with versatile attack options. The Witch Hunter focuses on swift movements and targeted strikes against its opponents. The Gemling Legionnaire offers a versatile approach, allowing customization through gem usage. Tactician, ideal for players who prefer a methodical approach, emphasizing positioning and crowd control. The Warrior. The Warrior excels in close quarter combat, wielding massive two-handed maces to deliver devastating slams and create an area of effect shockwave. This class is designated for players who enjoy being in the front lines, absorbing damage and controlling the battlefield through sheer force. The Titan. Ideal for players who prefer tanky, melee-focused combat with high survivability. The Warbringer focuses on enhancing totems and war cries to control and devastate enemies. The Smith of Kitava, suited for aggressive melee combatants who leverage self-sacrifice for amplified damage. The Witch. The Witch commands undead minions and wields dark occult magic. She can summon skeletons, specters, and other minions to fight on her behalf, while also casting debilitating curses and chaos spells to weaken enemies. This class is perfect for players who prefer a playstyle centered around controlling an army of minions and utilizing dark magic. The Blood Mage offers a high-risk, high-reward experience for players willing to trade health for powerful spellcasting. The Infernalist unleashes devastating fire and chaos spells that burn, rot, and overwhelm enemies over time while staying just out of reach. The Lich emphasizes on chaos damage, energy shield mechanics, and minion synergy, offering a unique playstyle for players who enjoy commanding dark powers and their undead allies. The Sorceress, specializing in elemental destruction, she wields a staff to unleash her powerful fire, ice, and lightning spells. Capable of freezing, stunning, and burning enemies, she can also employ defensive skills to repel foes. This class suits players who enjoy dealing massive elemental damage from a distance while managing battlefield position. The Stormweaver focuses on elemental damage, critical strikes, and status ailments. They can trigger powerful effects upon inflicting shocks, ignites, and critical strikes, making them a dynamic and versatile spellcaster. The Chronomancers utilize time manipulation to reset skill cooldowns, rewind to previous states, and slow down enemies. This control over time allows for strategic engagement and disengagement, as well as the ability to recover from mistakes. The Monk, combining martial prowess with elemental magic, he utilizes quarterstaff to deliver swift and precise strikes. This class is highly mobile, weaving through enemies while harnessing lightning, ice, and wind abilities to enhance attacks and control the battlefield. The Monk appeals to players who appreciate a fast-paced, combo-oriented combat style. The Invoker focuses on dealing elemental damage through melee attacks utilizing critical strikes to trigger powerful effects. The Acolyte of Chiula focuses on chaos damage and manipulating darkness as both resource and defensive mechanisms. The Ranger excels in ranged combat, wielding bows to deliver precise attacks. She can infuse arrows with elemental effects and use earth-shattering skills to poison and immobilize enemies. Highly agile, the Ranger can evade attacks and reposition quickly, making her suitable for players who enjoy hit-and-run tactics and crowd control from a distance. Deadeye, suited for players who favor high-speed range combat with an emphasis on critical strikes. The Pathfinder balances offense and defense through strategic flask management and elemental damage. The Huntress is a versatile fighter who combines melee and range combat using spears. She introduces unique abilities such as a rideable bird companion and the power to capture monsters' souls. Resembling the Amazon from classic RPGs, the Huntress offers a dynamic playstyle for players who enjoy adaptability and innovative combat techniques. The Ritualist focuses on utilizing charms and performing sacrifices to enhance combat abilities. The Amazon specializes in dealing high critical strikes and elemental damage while maintaining agility through enhanced evasion. Now that we've seen all of the classes currently offered in Path of Exile 2, my number one recommendation is to choose a class that best fits your playstyle. The reason I emphasize this over anything else is simple. If you don't pick something you genuinely enjoy now, there's a good chance you'll end up disliking it 10, 20, or even 60 hours in, and that can lead to burnout or quitting altogether. I also recommend taking your time during the first playthrough, enjoy the journey, explore everything the game has to offer, and let yourself get immersed in the experience. The easiest way for me to explain the skill system is like this. As you play, you'll find uncut skill gems by killing monsters or through certain quests. Think of these as blank skills. Once you identify them, you get to choose which skill you want to use. The only caveat is that each skill has a required tier. You'll need to reach a certain level or milestone to unlock stronger skills. While there are more advanced synergies and theory crafting options for maxing your character, I recommend sticking to your class specific skills for your first playthrough. It'll help you avoid burnout and let you enjoy the game at a steady pace. Once you've selected the skill you want, you'll need to assign it to your skill bar. You can have up to 9 skill gems equipped at any time, so have fun experimenting with different combinations and finding what works best for your playstyle. Now that you have your skills, you can enhance them by adding support gems. These gems boost your abilities, helping you deal more damage, improve your defenses, or gain special effects that match your playstyle. Support gems work similarly to active skills. You'll use uncut skill gems to select the support skills you want, giving you even more ways to customize and optimize your build. This is the passive skill tree. It might look intimidating and confusing at first, but it's actually pretty straightforward once you spend a little time with it. Think of it as another way to enhance your playstyle, or fill in the gaps in your build, whether that's adding more damage, defense, or utility. The passive skill tree is divided into starting zones, which is based by the tune you selected in the character creator. The lines you see here are simply guidelines meant to help you stay within the general path of your intended class or build. That said, they aren't strict barriers. For example, a mercenary who starts at the bottom of this tree can technically reach the top where the sorcerers and the witch nodes are, but doing so would be very inefficient and likely a waste of skill points. So again, as a guide for new players coming into Path of Exile 2, The recommendation is to stay within the imaginary lines for your first playthrough. This will help you build a strong and effective character without feeling overwhelmed. I have crossed out the current classes that are not playable yet. The classes in the green box are the only ones you can currently play in Path of Exile 2. Now you are truly ready to start your journey in Path of Exile 2. Thank you for watching, and let me know if you want to see any specific builds.